The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Verizon, the official wireless partner of the NHL. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Celebrations of 40 years ago in statues. The real live thing. Incredible. Tuukka Rask, 99 career wins. First in shutouts, second in save percentage, third in goals against. 160-minute loss in 6 games against the Flyers. Steve Mason with 31 wins this year. Rookie of the Year 5 years ago. And essential to the Flyers' success this year. 160-minute loss in 5 games against Boston. Zdeno Chara is in. He is not being rested. He is against the Flyers this afternoon, and not too surprising, the starting center for the Flyers will be Claude Giroux. Pierre, what kind of matchup do you think the Flyers want out of this?
I think they want to play a physical, smart game, not take any penalties. The Boston Bruins power play is one of the most improved in the league, going from 25th last year to 6th this year. So I think the Flyers want to play on the edge, but not cross it, Doc. And for Boston, you heard Patrice Bergeron in the interview I did with him before the game. It's about legacy, it's about pride, it's about keeping on the right track and getting better. And man, you listen to that young man talk and you see one of the reasons why the Bruins standards are so high.
9-3-1 in the month of March for the Flyers. 22-2-4 in the last 28 games for the Bruins. The last time they lost on the road was 2 months ago in Los Angeles. I think Jerry Cheevers might have been in goal for that. This is flipped along to center. They have just been magnificent, and they just show no signs of stopping. It will be a record first established by Cheevers and his old Bruins that they'll break today if they can win this game on the road. No Bruins team has ever won 9 in a row away from home, and we get the first icing at 26 seconds. I just wanted an excuse to mention Jerry Cheevers. And Bobby Orr and all of that gang, as you see the current guys.
What a good gang to pick. This is where Claude Julien on an icing. He's going to come with his big line. Again, like 30 goals. Krejci, Lucic. This line's been dominating. And talking to Jerome McGinley before the game, Doc, I know you were really impressed by his focus and his efforts.
2 goals and 2 assists in the earlier game against the Flyers this year. They've only played 1 of the 3 that they will play. The other one will be next Saturday in Boston. 6-1 was the score of that when the Bruins won it. That was in Boston. This is the only game this year in the regular season in Philadelphia. Coming by to get this is David Krejci, able to wind from one and one-hand it back in, and so Sean Couturier will go back for it.
And this is the matchup that Philadelphia wants, Couturier against Krejci, along with Colburn and Timonen on the back end.
You always know who the most dangerous unit is for the other team, and that's who number 14 in orange is assigned to. He comes to the bench now because there is a change. Soderberg takes over here for Boston. Left it behind, but recovered enough to play on to Mazzaros, the ex-Flyer, and then that one nudged back by Matt Reed, taken on by Braden Shen, handed on for the shot that is directed wide by Boychuk from the stick of Simmons. Booted along again by Mazzaros, can be controlled and outletted to center, and on with it for the Bruins comes Kelly, flipped one that was directed up into the mesh.
Chris Kelly's made a huge sacrifice. He's been a natural center throughout most of his career, even going back to when he played for the London Knights in the Ontario Hockey League. But because of the way Carl Soderberg's evolved as a center iceman, he's moved over to left wing, and he's played fantastically well for the Bruins, and that's really allowed Soderberg to elevate his game.
From this faceoff, it is corralled in front by Luke Shen, the leading hitter on this team, with well over 200. Cleared on back and banked on to center, where it's flagged down by Simmons. Wearing Paul Holmgren's old number 17, comes back over to Simmons, who jabbed it back in. The Bruins take over there. Along it comes now for Simmons, rocked a little bit, puck fed back away from him, and tipped on out to center, and Kelly finesses it on, and a nice lob back in by Louis Eriksson. On with it comes the Flyers, and this one is blocked free and then came around in front for a feed by LeCavalier that's taken on by Mazzaros.
You know you're deep when Vinny LeCavalier is your fourth center.
recently got that over the last game against Toronto and flourished with that as they did in winning 4-2 2 nights ago. Lecavalier banks it in. Ronaldo with it there. Plastered to the boards and glass by Mazzaros. Battles right back. Forced his way to the front. Help came from Daniel Paille. Nice little slip back for Thornton. And it's sent on now for Gregory Campbell. Campbell lobs it back in and goes right in after it along with the defenseman for the Philadelphia Flyers, Nicholas Grossman. Battled for there and thrown across by Giroux. Settled down by Streit for Grossman again. Then Ronaldo. Punched away by Riley Smith. If the standings didn't change in the last 13 days of the season, and that would mean that Riley Smith would be playing his brother Brendan in the first round. Boston and Detroit. Wheeling around with this is Voracek. Got it to the back across for a drive by Giroux and a headhunter that Hartnell got out of the way of. Punched back along by Braden Coburn and finessed quickly by Marchand. Thrown right back to him by Bergeron. He twirls, button hooks, and hands it on back. Here's Chara drive. Turned aside by Mason. Played along by Voracek. Step two by Coburn. Guided ahead to Hartnell. And Hartnell throws it in on the backhand and comes to the bench for a change.
What a creative play by the Boston Bruins. And Zdeno Chara paying attention to jump in and just hammer that on Steve Mason.
I wonder how many first-year Bruins have to learn what 37's going to do next. Because it seems like there's an awful lot you're going to have to learn about what's capable that most guys can't do. Thrown along by Couturier and guided back now by Matt Reed. Forced along off of Lucien's stick, directed back by Iginla. Chopped free there. Battled for through Lucic, who doesn't have a stick, but got his stick and kicked it on, though it is played by the Flyers and turned back up by Michael Raffl as far as center.
The right forwards are on for the Flyers. They're trying to make a change in the back end. They just can't do it because the Bruins keep getting the puck in deep.
Jarome Iginla with 30 goals. He has played 12 pro seasons that are full, and he's gotten 30 in all of them. Banked around behind, and Bartkowski able to hand it on to Kevin Miller, and then started on ahead for the flop back in by Soderberg off a glove, but corralled by time again. Left on now for Grossman, banked back ahead for Braden Shen, stood up there by the checking of Johnny Boychuk. To a side battle, tumbling down with Soderberg, following it up is Streit, gave it on to time again, and McGinn throws it back in. Nearly 5 minutes played here in the first period as it's guided on around, and Kelly is there. Kelly wrapped up by McGinn. They try to force it further, and it's squibbed behind for Mazzaros. And jammed on behind again by Boychuk. Just took a look at the big scoreboard at center ice. One shot apiece, no goals, of course, and the 50-50's worth over 22 grand already. Bouncer comes, they put it all up there, don't they? Jammed on ahead now for the Flyer possession and carried back in for Lecavalier. Score! And that, for him, is number 400.
17th goal this season, as Doc said, his 400th. Bad puck play by the Bruins, and then Vinny Lecavalier fools Tuukka Rask. Adam Hall gives it up, drives to the net. It might have touched the stick on the way in, and maybe that's why it baffled Tuukka Rask. Johnny Boychuk's stick might have affected the flight of the puck. 1-0. And for Vinny Lecavalier, 400. Oh yeah, that sunk.
And so the Flyers strike first. Second shot of the game for them. Third shot overall in what has been pretty defensively played, but aggressively so. Thrown on by Mason. Squibbed on the bounce perfectly to be carried back ahead. Hall connects over with Ronaldo. And Ronaldo with a wrister that's waffle boarded away by Tuukka Rask. Pulled on free by Campbell and dropped on back. A lot of harassment there comes from Ronaldo. Pretty aggressive forecheck by the Flyers. Nothing new for them. Hall and Ronaldo get the assists on Lecavalier's milestone 400th goal. Sean Thornton comes in and does a good job of keeping puck possession in question. Bounced along further, and it skipped on behind where Kimmo Timonen stepped to it. Bothered by Marchand, plays it on to center, and grabbed by Zdeno Chara. Biggest man in the sport's history at 6'9". Saw that one thrown ahead now to Bergeron, who's able to backhand it in. After it is Grossman. That one squibbed through. Played up the half board, past the shoulder of Hartnell, and held along by Dougie Hamilton. Worked on now for Bergeron, couldn't get a good shot away. Fed it back to Chara. He does, and that one hit somebody in front. Don't think it got all the way through. Thrown to the front now, and it is poked along further by Bergeron and gotten by the Flyers and sent for Voracek, but played back along by Chara. We apologize for this, but every once in a while Chara fires one so fast we don't know what happened. Here is Streit bringing it ahead. It either hit somebody right in front of Mason or Mason got it, and we want proper credit, but it'll take a replay and slowed down for us to get it. Here's Couturier firing it around behind, and Mazzaros takes over there. Then on to Lucic, tipped on further for Krejci, moves back up with Iginla, has to shovel it through, and it will not go through. Nicely cradled and thrown back on a perfect turning stick here. Lugged right back along now and held for a shot that ricocheted wide from Matt Reed out of Bemidji State. Right back along for Reed again. Reed scaled it to the back, one-time try. Around the boards, came back for a centering pass now that is grabbed off and then finesse free by Hall, closed off by the hard work of Krejci. So to a side. And taken on by Krejci. 7 3/4 minutes played here in the first period. 3 shots to 1 Flyers. And on the goal by Vinny Lecavalier, 17th of the year, 400th of his career. It is 1-0. Boychuk slugged it across. Chara ahead. Jabbed further by Soderberg. Played off him by Coburn. Back to Coburn again. Menaced there by Marchand, and it's shoved off of Mason and around behind. Tipped on further, and the Bruins are able to control here. Soderberg trying to drive to the front. Wedged one-handedly into Mason. And the first disagreement of the day, unless there was something Pierre and I did not notice in the warm-up. 11:46 to go, first period. Wasn't that long ago he got his first, so this is 400 for 40. Expand your hockey experience with the Verizon StarCam on NBCSports.com. Throughout the game, we're streaming a live ISOCam following star players like Patrice Bergeron and Claude Giroux. The Verizon StarCam is available now at NBCSports.com. 59% on faceoffs, third best in the league. 6 straight games with a goal, the longest since Phil Kessel scored that many in a row for the Bruins 5 years ago.
And what's amazing, he played the Olympics as a right winger.
Whatever it takes. Miller with a shot that went wide. A lot of guys play out of position because it's an all-star team. Here's Eriksson seeing that one bounce away, and Simmons is able to throw it back out. And so it's left by Mason. Guided across now for Coburn. Jabbed ahead, time again, laid back in, and after it is Simmons. Simmons takes care of his man there. Puck came loose, and it's Soderberg to start back for the Bruins. Soderberg flipped one ahead, trying to dart free, but unable to get by was Kelly, and it's knifed away by Coburn to the corner. Protected enough by Timonen that it can be guided ahead by McGinn and taken on by Simmons. Simmons able to muscle it on, and it's taken along behind by Coburn. Tried to one-hand one in front, and a good defensive play by Bartkowski there. Or I beg your pardon, Mazzaros. Around behind it's Squibb. Mazzaros trying to get it there. Loose puck is grabbed off now by Ronaldo. Filtered on quickly for Lecavalier to the back to McDonald. Fires, and that one wide. And Soderberg could not tap out another shot, and that hit the leg of Hall. Moving along is McDonald. Gave it back to Ronaldo. Delays. Throws one around behind. After that is Hall. Arriving is Lecavalier, but then it's up for Kelly to flip back to center. Under 10.5 to go here in the first. Lecavalier holds. Gives it back in a shot. Oh, and that one hit something on its way to the net and ricocheted wide. May have been the paraphernalia of Raz. Now held and thrown ahead, and it skipped off a stick back down. There's no icing here, so Rask bunts it on to Chara, and Chara backhanded it to center. Lugged right back ahead again by Mark Streit and flown back in. Voracek goes to get it. Chara sizes him up. Voracek escapes for now. Along the boards, Chara with the follow-up here and is able to ladle it around behind so it can be controlled further by Bruin defenders. Past the halfway point of the first period, and just 6 shots, 4 by the Philadelphia Flyers, and 1 has gone in. It is Marchand pivoting, sending it around behind. That one careened on to be taken by Smith. Wanted to jam it to the front, battled for there, and then bunted on back for the Flyers. Hartnell to Karam, one to center. That is read there by Hamilton. Guided on to Bergeron. Bergeron across, and a shot, and that one floated wide. Difficult play for Smith there, but it's taken on now and fed back to Meszaros. He scores! The ex-Flyer has tied the game. Meszaros, 1-1.
And he was coming off the bench, Doc. That's one of the reasons why he got lost in coverage. Chara was coming off. He was coming on. There you see the change. Chara going off. Meszaros coming on. Good board play. Awareness from Marchand. And Meszaros with a twisted wrister. He just gets it up hard, high, and through. 1-1. And that's the problem when you play Boston. They never quit on plays. They're really disciplined, and they find ways to get pucks to the net.
These are two teams that have the serious ears toward their coach. Whenever he says anything, Claude Julien and Craig Berube both have had magnificent success in making sure that everybody's listening, not just part of the guys. Poked ahead now for a little feed on that is taken by Couturier, and then it is lobbed along by Lucic and grabbed off by Coburn. So Boychuk banks one along for Iginla. Iginla delays and flings it ahead, bunted down, and then soccered back out again by Coburn in stride. Couturier. Couturier holds, drops it on, and gets it back and slammed one off of Tuukka Rask. Timonen fires one that went wide. Couturier had it knifed along, poked on further into some traffic, and then again it comes back for the hold and the play behind by Bartkowski. Swept back along for a little tip back out by David Krejci, grabbed off by McDonald. 8.5 to go here in the first period of a 1-1 tie. Marchand and Hamilton get the assists on the Meszaros goal. Bartkowski saw that go off his stick. Meanwhile, Braden Shen poked it along, but interrupted and started back out again by Kelly. Rifled back in by Soderberg, and it squibbed behind. Kelly goes after it. Outreached by Luke Shen. The jam up for it there, and walking free is Eriksson. Got it to Chara. Touched it over to Miller. Off the boards and back in deep. To a side continue. Thrown onto the back. Chara with the reach there. Rolled it around. Luke Shen to take over. Shen reversed it on to McDonald. A shift change for Boston. After pretty good containment by the Bruins. Wedged out of the play was Miller. Set up by Rask for Chara, and back out they come again. Skated on out and handed across to Sean Thornton. Thornton able to play one right on goal. Waffle boarded away by Mason. To a side, joust along. Fed by Paille, but cut and started back out and dropped back along further by Adam Hall. Michigan Stater watches as Paille hands it across circle to Boychuk, and then on over to Chara. Bounced on now, and it's Streit, banging it further. Paille moves in, jousted a bit for his trouble by Hall, and so the Flyers take over and play it geometrically along now to Grossman. Grossman on the turning stick of LeCavalier, fed back to Streit, through to Hall, bounces on to Ronaldo, but they say offside. Virtually non-stop play here in the first, 6:59 to go. It is 1-1. Edward Jones FaceTime. Pierre is with Flyers head coach Craig Berube.
Coach, they're the #1 team in the league right now. What's the biggest problem the Bruins present for a coaching staff?
Well, they got a solid team for one. I mean, they're very good down the middle of the ice, and goaltending strong. But I think the biggest problem is their structure is so good, and they don't go away from it. You got to battle, but you got to play this team with good structure yourself the whole game. You got to stay patient, but you got to work and compete real hard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here is Hamilton feeding Bergeron, then Hamilton a shot, and that deflected wide by Grossman, kept alive by Chara, rattled around behind off of Bergeron. Turning with this is Claude Giroux. Bruins have been dominant on faceoffs, winning 5 of the first 6. Flyers have 14 of the first 20 hits in the game, and so you do what you do. Across it comes now to Hamilton. And knifed right back down, so Chara will go back to play. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go, first period of play. 2 weeks from today, it will be over. There are 5 other games in the NHL, and they don't begin until late afternoon. Along it's taken now by Reed. Reed fired it behind. Raffle up with it there. Couldn't get to the front. Good anticipation by Hamilton, and played on by Chara. The youngster and the veteran connect, and back on is Soderberg. Soderberg puts on the brakes, wiping out now is Timonen. Soderberg to the front, and that one ricocheted to the corner. Played on to the back again and touched back across for Miller. Fires one that ricocheted off the leg of Matt Reed. Chipped along further for the Bruins to try to take, but Eriksson couldn't control. Stepping to this is Raffl. Closed in pretty well there. Help from Couturier. Reaching in Soderberg, and it yanked on free for Reed to walk ahead. Reed just delays now, accelerates and gains the zone, playing it back in. Meanwhile, his teammates have come to the bench for a change, and quickly Simmons' unit is back out there. Stepping to this first is Brayden Schenn. Schenn a shot, and that deflected just through the crease wide. Played along and given on back to McDonald. He fires, pad stop, rebound. Oh, and two more saves by Rask. My goodness. Led to the back again, and it's McDonald with it. Turns it back along. McGinnis shot, getting a piece of it. Rask played along by Lucic, and it must be played to center.
There's that slot area presence we talked about, Doc, when we talk about Simmons, Schenn, McGinn, really cramming in on Tuukka Rask.
Here's a shot that's spiked high by McGinn. They jostle along, peeling off with it is Brayden Schenn. Lots of Flyers attack now. Held at the point. Oh, and they were hoping for a tip by Simmons on goal. Did not get it that time. Simmons comes right back, tumbles down to the ice. Meanwhile, it's played along to Miller, then to Bartkowski, and Bartkowski looks ahead, right on the money for Iginla, who controls back in. Drops it on now to Krejci. Threw one in front, and it's shanked loose off both a Flyer and a Bruin named Lucic. Played on back to center, and the Bruins are able to take over, and Mazzaros with a touch that is read and carried back on by Iginla. Heavy collision involving all three teams on the ice.
Yeah, Zach Rinaldo started. Now Iginla wants to fight him, and he will. Iginla, Rinaldo. Oh, that got Iginla right on the button. Zach Rinaldo got him right on the button with the right hand. That's what stunned Iginla. I'm not sure Peter Chiarelli and Cam Neely want to see that, with the Bruins having already clinched the Atlantic Division.
First that, and then the scrap. 1-1.
Back to Philadelphia, Jarome Iginla carrying the puck through the neutral zone. Clean, hard, physical play by Zach Rinaldo on Jarome Iginla. Not a high hit, not a dirty hit. It's a continuation play. Jarome Iginla's a tough guy. He'll fight his own battles. But watch the right hand there. Gets Iginla right on the button. And Jarome is as tough as there is in the National Hockey League. Everybody knows that. Remember his hellacious fight with Vinny Lecavalier in the 2004 Stanley Cup Final when Calgary and Tampa Bay hooked up. Claude Julien didn't like that at all. He says, okay, you want to see that? We'll be ready. We'll be ready. And they have some artillery. Philadelphia has some artillery. This will be a pretty messy afternoon, Doc, I think. I know it's nasty outside. It's going to get nasty in here.
Seems like it. At one time in the history of the sport, there were guys that got 44 fights a year. That is the total that these two teams have. And that's not to say that it is a cowardly game this day. Just different in terms of how many guys are on the roster who do that on a regular basis. And again, one of the star players. And you mentioned they probably would not like to see him do a lot of that.
Well, they don't want to see him break his hand. I mean, that's happened before with guys engaging, but that's where you really respect Jarome Iginla and his ability to defend himself.
Lecavalier peels off and shoots one, and it is held by Rask, and a little bit more there caused by Hall, perhaps unintentionally, if that can happen in a game between these two. Watch live out-of-market games with NHL Game Center Live. One subscription lets you watch on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and connected devices. Visit NHL.com/GCL. The top 4 plus-minuses in the entire league, Boychuk is one of them. Bergeron 37, Krejci 36, Iginla 34, Boychuk 33, and that's entering the day. It's all Bruins guys.
There's a guy in San Jose that's having a pretty good year, Marc-Edouard Vlasic. You go check out his plus-minus. It's pretty scary. Nobody even knows who's playing. It's that good.
Back ahead now, it's Marchand putting on the brakes. Rocking there with Mark Streit. Reaching in was Smith, played on by Bergeron a second time, and along for Marchand. Marchand wedged off and waltzed along by Grossman. Meanwhile, pivoting with it and having some more trouble is Smith. This one squibbed right near the front, and Smith got there first. Led it around now for Marchand. Given on to the back. Bartkowski fires, and that one went wide. Struck the back of the cage. Rescued by Marchand. Able to regain his feet and then play it along for Bergeron. That one came out in front, nicely bunted away by Mason and carried ahead by Raffl. Raffl moving along with Matt Reed. They crisscross, but the puck turned back over, up the wing just away from Bergeron, and then a second effort is able to spike it on to Matt Reed. Matt Reed scoots his way right through the Flyers logo at center, and it's dumped right back in. Uniform colors and logos have not changed much over the course of the history of these two teams. The Bruins originally were brown. The Flyers were a different shade of orange, sort of a warm red when they won their championships, but they've gone right back toward that rather than the bright orange that they started with in their first year. Here is Hamilton with a shot. Oh, and what a glove grab made by Mason.
Forecheck presence in the third line. Kelly, Soderberg, and Eriksson so hard on the puck, and after they make good forecheck plays, they make good decisions, and Louis Eriksson puts it right out front to Dougie Hamilton and Steve Mason. What a save. But there you get an example of how good this third line is, and Kelly, after starting the forecheck, driving hard to the net. What a save by Steve Mason.
He peers out at this faceoff. One of the better parts of all the numbers that we have on Mason is 25. That's his age. He doesn't turn 26 until late May, and everybody wearing orange in the seats here today, and that's just about everybody, hopes that he's still playing then as he clutches this one to that old logo, and play is stopped. The hits in the game are 18-6 in favor of the Flyers. The shots are 10-6 in favor of the Flyers, and the game is even at 1-1. Braden Shen ready for this as Krejci will take the draw, with Couturier fed between the point men but kept alive neatly by Boychuk right on the line, and Glass. Now Krejci on for Mazzaros, and a kneeling save made by Mason. Lifted along to center by Streit. So curling back now is Boychuk, blasted it on ahead right on the money. Eriksson moves in with Krejci. Eriksson pivots, gave it to Krejci, side of the net. A little backhander was blocked, taken by Krejci, back to Boychuk, and a shot, and that held by Mason.
Some doubling up for Louis Eriksson. His line mates left, but because of the Jerome McGinley fighting major, Louis Eriksson's on the ice, 21 in white. Krejci gets it out, and there's Steve Mason again with the active glove, shutting it down. Louis Eriksson, backhand. Eventually Krejci's going to get it, chip it back to the point, and a hard shot from Johnny Boychuk, and Steve Mason's got the glove working this afternoon, Doc.
Making a lot of Masonic saves, isn't he?
Yes.
8 shots by the Bruins now. 2 of the tougher ones were the last 2 that he had to make. And along with this now is Luke Schenn. Fed back on now for Reed, and that one ricocheted off of Hamilton, retreating to play as Chara. Chara along with this, avoided the hit mostly, and it's angled on a cross. Thornton to Chara, shunted on to Hamilton, rifled ahead, and it can be settled down by Paille. That off the wallet of Campbell, and ahead now to the stick of Thornton and into the glove of Mason. Time to go inside the glass. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here's Pierre.
Well, Doc, they always tell you, have your head on a swivel when you're playing an in-zone coverage for the Philadelphia Flyers. It's hard to have your head on a swivel. Watch the change. Chara's going to come off. Andre Mazzaros is going to come on. So everybody's focusing in on the puck. They don't realize how wide open Andre Mazzaros is because of the line change. He takes advantage of it and sticks it to the back of the net. Don't be puck watching. Pay attention to your area and where your man should be.
Next weekend, this place will play host to the Frozen Four in college hockey. 2 of the teams are still to be determined. We know that Union in North Dakota will be here, but UMass Lowell, Boston College, St. Cloud State, and Minnesota, they are the question marks going into today's play, and that'll be more excitement for all the hockey fans here in Philly.
What an overtime win by North Dakota yesterday in double overtime, Doc. And how about St. Cloud State in overtime beating Notre Dame out at the XL Energy Center?
Ahead with his now is Voracek. Dips the shoulder, backhands one through, score! Timonen!
What a play by the Flyers, but 63 right, Brad Marchand, he's going to leave the ice shaking his head. Johnny Boychuk tries to create a chance, and then Jake Voracek, they stretch it out. Jake Voracek working, Watch Kimmo Timonen. Marchand's late to come over, and Kimmo Timonen takes the relay from Voracek and sticks it to the back of the net. That's all it takes, Doc, that little piece of separation. And Marchand knows as soon as Timonen beats him up the ice, he's in trouble from his coaching staff. He knows right away.
Timonen's 5th of the year. Ever since NHL players went to the Olympics, Timonen has not missed. He wasn't even an NHL player his first time. Everybody else on the team in Finland was. He has gotten his 5th from Voracek, the primary assist, and the only one as Mason has come up with yet another save.
Doc, I just think back to a couple weeks ago when we were here and we had a chance to talk to Kimmo Timonen, and he's talking about, I want to thank the people from Finland and all the things they've done for me in my career. And there you see how mad Marchand is. He knows the tape doesn't lie, and he's a proud player, and he knows he got beat clean, and he'll make the adjustment on it. He will. But what a play by Kimmo Timonen.
It is nice to be between the benches, Pierre, and up here, because I wouldn't want to be lined up next to Marchand on the next shift just because of his anger right now and how he can show it. And it usually winds up being a positive. But we will see. That's what the remainder of the 40 minutes or maybe more are about, as we're down to the end of the first 20 here. 5 to go. And on through, and that's it for this. Shots were 11-10 Flyers in the first period. Lecavalier's 400th and Timonen's 5th of the year, sandwiched around Mazzaro's 7th. Coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report, Liam, Mike, and Jeremy, Lecavalier rising value, plus Patrice Bergeron, the Bergeron profile. So, that's where we are after the first 20 minutes of play. Scrap, 21 shots, 3 goals, the advantage, Philly. Welcome back to the NHL push for the playoffs on NBC. Down in Independence Plaza, with Independence Hall in the background. The Liberty Bell. Philadelphia 2, Boston 1, as we get ready to start the second period of play. We are not the ones who play in these games, but those who observe them, including former referees. Pierre have the idea that there might be another set of majors at least before the day is out, based on the ones that we saw in the latter part of the first. That is just the thinking of those who have watched a lot of games, that the Bruins did not take lightly what happened. We'll see, but meanwhile, in the athletic part of the first part of this period, it is played along now for the keep by Grossman, but the take by Smith and thrown back out. Not that either thing that we talked about is non-athletic, it's just that one you think of more with the puck and the stick like Chara's doing here. And that one ricocheted on back and is sent back out by Smith, rifled back in again by Giroux. Were the playoffs to begin today, Boston would be hosting Detroit in a best of 7. Pittsburgh would be entertaining Columbus, Montreal, Tampa Bay, and the Rangers and Philly. But if Philadelphia wins this, they would go past the Rangers. And a shot is held to the shoulder of Tuukka Rask. It is significant to have the home ice advantage, and for those who do not wear uniforms but suits, it's worth a lot of cash for the extra home game.
Doc, I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with Mike, Jeremy, and Liam talking about this gentleman potentially being in the conversation for MVP. I think he's winning the Selke Trophy, which is for the best defensive forward in the league, hands down. But I also think he does merit that kind of discussion. He's had that kind of a year, and he really is the conscience of the Boston Bruins.
No one has had a string of longer than 6 games in a row with a goal in Bruins history. Since we mentioned Phil Kessel, and that was a 6. The all-time record was set by Phil Esposito with 9 games with at least a goal. And there's no one that's going to overtake Phil's record for most shots in a season, despite the best efforts of Alexander Ovechkin. 550 shots on goal, and that was in the days when you didn't play 82 games, you played in the 70s.
And he got those shots from about 10 feet. There was cross-checking that was allowed then, Doc. I mean, he was a warrior, Phil Esposito in the slot.
Soderberg curls around behind with it now. Through onto the slot, and a shot by Lucic is held by Mason.
Doc, I don't know if you throw your dice with the right hand or the left hand when you go to the casino, but Steve Mason, he should probably throw with his right because his glove hand is in fuego right now. Milan Lucic off the bench, he blasts out, and Steve Mason, quick as a cat, with the glove, snags it. No big deal with a little bit of Riley Smith right in his face. Some kind of save by Mason.
A dozen shots apiece in the game. A minute and a half into the second. It comes to the back again. Fielded over for Miller and a shot. Oh, that hit someone in front. It may have been Mason, but at any rate, it is taken along by Coburn. Coburn led it on. Freight train down was Raffle by Miller. Puck comes to the back, and it's Lucic. Shovels it over to Miller again. Twists it right back in. Oh, and quite a scrap there between Krejci and Mason in the goal crease. Popped on now for Raffle. Roughed a little bit, and then freight trained out of the play by Iginla, and play continues.
Oh, this is going to be a long afternoon, I believe.
This is carried ahead by Couturier. Couturier threw it on goal. Meanwhile, he was wrestled off by Miller, and the game picks up and a penalty coming up. Here's Grossman firing, and the save by Rask. Touched by the Bruins. A power play to Philadelphia.
Now, Jerome Iginla, you saw what happened to him in his fight with Zach Ronaldo, and he's got a real good memory. Kevin Miller's going to get a penalty. He got away with one on a cross-check earlier in the sequence. He's not going to get away with this one on Sean Couturier. You don't like to see that at all. The left leg comes out behind Couturier. That's a slew foot. Here's Miller with the cross-check. He got away with that one there. But on that same sequence, Jerome Iginla with a huge hit. And I got to tell you, Doc, as we go along here, I think this thing starts to deteriorate, especially if it stays tight.
Yeah, veteran officials here, Tim Peel and Dennis Leroux, who have seen this kind of aggressiveness before. Pierre Rasico and Greg Dvorsky in the earlier part of their careers had lots of breaking up to do and occasionally still do. This is fed back down. But meanwhile, in the power play where the Flyers struck 3 out of 4 times 2 nights ago against Toronto, they are 4 for their last 17. The Bruins have killed 15 of the last 17. All their special teams have been terrific. Around this one, curls now. Can be lost, though, to Marchand, who charges ahead shorthandedly for the Bruins. Dropping it on off for a feed for Marchand around in front. Couldn't poke it by Mason. And then he checks a man down on top of Mason. That was Hartnell.
He's still mad at himself, and he makes a creative play here with Patrice Bergeron. He's mad at Kimmo Timonen beating up the ice. And Marchand's not one of those meek players. He's just going to go away quietly. He's going to push back. Bruins are shorthanded. You attack Bergeron, Marchand, little cross and drop. There's a cross, there's a drop, go hard to the net. Mason with a good right pad save. Marchand doesn't quit on it, and he lets Hartnell know, I'm here for the rest of the afternoon. That's what you love about Brad Marchand. Yeah, he made a mistake, but he's going to come back and try to make up for it.
A bulldozer on the Lincoln Motor Company power play, though shorthanded. Carried ahead now by the Flyers and laid back out to center. Can be forced back up the wing. Thrown back in deep by Simmons. Around it curled. It's tapped onto the back and rescued there by Giroux. Banked back in for Simmons. Bear hugged a bit by Chara. Puck tipped on a cross. Bruins after it, and they are able to at least tip it to center ice. The reach of Louis Eriksson. Quickly right back on. Hartnell run into by Chara, and then it's taken by Simmons. The ex-Los Angeles King played it ahead, trying to get by Voracek. It's pumped right back to him, watched there by Campbell, and poked behind. Boychuk tripped up on the play, got it as far as center, and so it is angled right back across. Voracek had that one knifed away, stick out of the hands of Voracek. He comes to the bench anyway, and this one escapes back down and will go for an icing. So while on the power play with 38 left on the Miller minor, an icing called against the Flyers.
The Flyers are really upset because this went off a Bruin stick. This should not have been icing, Doc. It's missed because it happened so quickly, but the Bruins got their stick on this. Kimmo Timonen's going to move the puck. You're going to see it's going to come back. Here's Timonen. He goes to move the puck. There's the Bruin stick. It touches a Bruin stick. Should not have been icing. It was. It's missed. It just shows you how fast things happen.
To the back it comes for the hold, and the play back in deep again by Mazzaros. Flyers able to outman and push it back in the last 25 of this man advantage. First power play of the game, not the first penalties. The major penalties to Iginla and Ronaldo were those, but it's been somewhat light. And the officials have let them play. Scaled back along, it ricocheted behind. Bartkowski nudged it back along. Pinching is McDonald. Closed off there. And it's yanked on across for LeCavalier, and a shot! And that blocked away by Rask. Now Reed pulled away, met there by Mazzaros. Puck tipped behind, reach by Bartkowski. Ties up there, and it's jammed behind by LeCavalier up for Matt Reed. Reed run into and rocked a bit by Paille. Coming by is Campbell. Stood up there by Braden Shen. Puck kicked along now for LeCavalier. Hooked off by Campbell, and he touches it ahead. Penalty time is up. Teams at full strength here, with 4.5 played in the second period. Flyers have the lead in the game 2-1.
Zach Rinaldo on the ice for his first shift after the Iginla fight.
Good catch there, Pierre, as it's walked back across, and then a little collision there between Streit and LeCavalier, and it throws it offside. Inside the glass, presented by Progressive Insurance, here's Pierre.
Well, Doc, in the Rinaldo-Iginla fight, we saw a really good right hand. Let's talk about another right hand, Steve Mason's right hand. Dougie Hamilton, no problem, the right hand comes out. Johnny Boychuk, no problem, the right hand comes out. Milan Lucic, the right hand comes out. This guy's right hand is smoking hot. And now you've got Sean Thornton and Zach Rinaldo. I'm so surprised, Doc, that this would happen. I am just shocked. And Rinaldo doesn't want to go. His team has a 2-1 lead. Can't blame him right now.
All amount of timing. This is thrown by Hall. Ricocheted in front off Miller. Grabbed off, and then it's Thornton. Run into by Rinaldo just briefly with his stick. And so it is outletted to center. Eriksson there guided it back in. Charging back in for this one now with a head of steam is Thornton. Rams into a man. Meanwhile, it is taken on. That was McDonald he hit. It's bounced back on for McDonald. McDonald tried to rip one along. It is settled down by Hall and plopped on out to center. LeCavalier steers. Rinaldo saw it forced away. Thornton set it up. In full flight, bringing it in. Lucic, and it's shrugged away by Mason. Tumbling down is Eriksson, and a penalty is coming up. It is a hooking call against the Flyers. There may be more out of this bit of jostling, but the Bruins right now look as though they'll have a power play.
Well, Sean Thornton makes a real smart play. He bounces his puck over to Milan Lucic, who attacks with speed. So while you think he's out there just to fight, here's a little chip to Milan Lucic, coming with speed. Quick shot on goal. Mason tries to fight it off with that good catching glove. There you see Adam Hall just hauling down, no pun intended, Louis Eriksson.
Our play will be sponsored by Lincoln Motor Company. Hall in the box. The call is a hook. Chara out to have a word there. Zdeno Chara has 7 power play goals for the Bruins out of his 16, and will likely go to the front as Krejci holds to the back. Chara is there, right near Mason. Held to the outside by Iginla. Iginla watched by Giroux, finessed it on. Chara backhander, he scores! My goodness! The big man has tied it up at 2.
Doc, that's his 10th power play goal of the year. When you go back to last year, Zdeno Chara had 3. The Bruins had the 25th rated power play in the league. Now they have the 6th. He's a big reason why. 10 power play goals for the big man, and they can deploy him down low because of his size and the slide. You see him right there. He's a human eclipse for Steve Mason, and also his smarts and his skills. What a play. Jarome Iginla to Zdeno Chara on the backhand. Doc, 6'9". Revolutionized the sport. Mike Milbury and his group drafted him out of Prince George, the BC Junior League, or in the Western Hockey League. Mike knows about it, and he knows how good this guy has been. But just phenomenal power play presence by the Bruins. What an improvement.
Well, the development of other players enabled the Bruins to station him there rather than have him back on the point with that 108 or 109 mile an hour shot. But lots of finesse there. It's taken by Hartnell and thrown into the glove of Rask, who paddles it on for Chara, and then gave it away out in front. Here's Hartnell, a shot. Oh, and that one hit Giroux in front. Brushed that further. Giroux a shot, and it was blocked away by Bergeron.
What an electrifying chance for the Philadelphia Flyers.
More jostling, tumbling as Chara gets back up and hooks at Hartnell. Meanwhile, it's fired behind, poked along by Hamilton. Sticks cross, Marchand delivers it on. Bergeron able to wedge it across, ladled free and then played on back where Chara goes after it and is able to swoop to this and just protect it. McGinn. Coburn. And ahead. Galloping on his time again. Tried to spike it on the backhand. Now has to play forehand back. Iginla and Krejci, the assists on Chara's 10th power play goal of the year. And that one deflected out of play into row number 6. Middle stages, second period. 15 shots each. 2 goals each. The 15th was brilliant. And we are tied. Time for Start Something Special, presented by Honda. Ready, shot, set, go, Pierre.
Well, Adam Hall's going to have something special on this one, Doc. Adam Hall through the neutral zone. Vinny Lecavalier, first overall draft pick many moons ago, sticks it by Tuukka Rask off the stick of Johnny Boychuk. 400th goal. What an occasion for Vinny Lecavalier, and what a hockey road traveled for a really good young guy. Not so young anymore, Doc.
By our standards, yes. Pierre, very youthful.
Very true.
Let's see how I lopped you in with me. Here's Mazzaro's banging it back around. We get a stoppage of play and an interference call coming up.
Dennis Leroux catches Chris Kelly in the neutral zone. He's going to call interference. And that gentleman is not very happy. Claude Julien, the coach of the Boston Bruins. And you'll see what Dennis Leroux is looking at when he makes the call. Kelly right there. And you know what? In a zero-tolerance league, which the NHL is quickly becoming, that's the right call.
Power play is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company. By the way, just parenthetical to what Pierre was saying, Lecavalier is 33. Puck to the back now. It is Voracek wedging one off the glass, off the shelf, and kicked along by Hartnell. Denied some by Bergeron, and then further by Campbell. And then we get a penalty coming up, and the call is a hook. And so after, except for the majors, a penalty-free first period, we're getting more minors here in the second.
This is Dennis Leroux making the call again on Scott Hartnell, I believe, who's a little bit incredulous. Makes his off-season home up in Minnesota, and there is the caramba. Not sure about that one, Doc, but anyways, we talk about zero tolerance. Tough one for Hartnell to digest there, I'm sure.
Well, in the first period, it wasn't nearly as, it was a little more lenient than it's been here in the second. That's for sure. But maybe that is also the aftermath of the scrap. That they think maybe we should tighten up on this thing before it gets out of control. The bouncer is scooped up and held by Rask. As Larry Storch, the police lieutenant in Young Frankenstein, said, a riot is an ugly thing. And later he added, maybe it's time we had one.
One of the most fearless players in the league, Kimmo Timonen. You see that scar in his chin? That happened not too long ago. Watch this. High and hard from Kevin Miller and off the face of Kimmo Timonen. And that opens him up. Jim McCrossin, the excellent trainer here for the Flyers, does some quick handiwork on the bench. He basically hasn't missed a shift.
5-time Olympian for the nation of Finland. And we have seen him shaken up so many times in games, but never did he not come back in the games that we have seen, and that's quite a few that he has played. Forced on now by Krejci and taken on further by Voracek. Dances nicely on and hands on to Giroux, but they rule offside, and 17,000 or so say all. Call ** NHL to download NHL Game Center and get a free premium upgrade only on Verizon. Enjoy exclusives like free live NBC national games. Never be without hockey. The 182nd time these teams have played one another since 1967. And we don't want to dramatize it, but when you see the bloody chin of Kimmo Timonen, it has not been unusual that there is some claret showing when these two teams collide. That from a shot, as this is handed back across now and laid on, and a nice carry ahead now by Braden Shen. Dances free to the slot with it, and shot one turned aside remarkably by Rask. Not once, but on a rebound too. I don't know how he followed that, because it was a very deceptive shot.
There were a maze of players in front of him.
Here's Shen again with it now, plays it carefully across. This is 4 aside. And still they hold. Laid back on now for the tuck across for Streit. Streit walks it ahead, puts on the brakes, and lays it behind where Miller is able to play it. Kevin Miller out of University of Vermont sees this come ahead now for Marchand. Marchand steps to the line and has some speed going, and then collided with Bergeron. The follow-up comes from Chara, and the stick save is made by Mason. And then Hamilton. Marchand. Fed back to Chara, dances free. Oh, what a save by Mason. What moves by Chara. It's laid to the back again, and here's a shot by Hamilton that's blocked right back. Chara near the front of the net, drifts away now. Marchand has it, tries to play in front, chopped at there, could not be reached by Hamilton until now. Hamilton's pass knocked down by Reed, just chaos all over. It's turned over to Marchand, fed across now to Lucic. To the back, it's Hamilton, a shot deflected to the corner. Lucic again, gave it on to Marchand. Marchand pivots away. Looks and shoots one, and that one blocked along. Chara could not stop that one, and it squibs on back. A race on for this one, closed off by Hartnell, but Chara prevailed to push it in on Rask, and then along to Hamilton. Wow. Laid back across to Krejci. Players coming to the bench and changes. Rattled back in again by Hamilton. Oh, and it kicked across the net mouth after a crazy bounce. Somebody call time. Around behind now, taking it is Iginla. Dropped a pass to Lucic, taken on by Ronaldo, fed across for Voracek. And Voracek drops back in. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Crazy quilt second period here, especially the last couple of shifts. In a 2-2 tie, Campbell retrieves it and plays to Mazzaro.
Doc, I thought the Bruins clinched the playoff spot in the Atlantic Division yesterday.
It is what these two teams tend to bring out in one another. Mason forced that one back around and all the way up the boards for Adam Hall.
And let's not forget this building. It's electrifying when it's like this.
True enough, Thornton is there, shoves at Ronaldo, and this kicked in on Rask. 9:12 to go, second period of play. 3 of Boston's 9 chances belong to big number 33. He cashed in on one of them. Not that. Edward Jones FaceTime. Pierre is with Bruins head coach Claude Julien.
You guys clinched the Atlantic Division yesterday. This is a little bit more physical than you thought, maybe.
No, not really. We expected this kind of game. I think it's intense. I think it's great for our team. We're trying to keep ourselves on our toes, and this is exactly what we need right now.
What's the message to your team after Zach Ronaldo and Jerome Iginla?
Well, we just had to go out there and I think match a little bit more their intensity. We weren't bad in the first, but they were a little bit more intense physically, and we've come out in the second period and responded well.
Congratulations on the Atlantic Division, Coach, and thanks.
Thanks, Pierre.
All right, looking on is Claude Julien from the bench.
Another one of those gold medal winning guys. What a job he did with Mike Babcock and Lindy Ruff and Ken Hitchcock in Sochi.
They all have a lifetime memory there, don't they? Here's a shot that's waffle-boarded away by Mason, dragged around behind. Brakes put on and slung. Score! My! What a goal by Bergeron. It's 3-2.
Well, we talked about Jeremy and Mike and Liam talking about MVP. Here's the reason why. The last time he was on the ice, he actually got hurt. Dougie Hamilton hit him with a shot, and he was laboring coming off. You see him working in a one-on-one. He puts it in deep, doesn't quit on it. That's Kimmo Timonen playing against him, one of the better defenders in the league. And I think Steve Mason will want that one back. Timonen does what he's supposed to do, force him to the outside, and that's just an awkward opportunity for Mason. And this is the injury that we're talking about. That's Dougie Hamilton bringing the heat from the backside, and you see Bergeron's laboring as he comes off the ice. He comes off, gets a little attention, but he goes right back out. You talk about MVP, there's MVP right there. Championship effort.
Selke Trophy in 2012. Who knows what he'll get here? As they feed in front, and McGinn walked right out, and that one was remarkably turned away by Rask after the waves parted for McGinn. Dragged on by Soderberg now, and denied by the reach of Streit, who tumbles down. Soderberg again fired one, and McGinn just speared it away. Laid it back across for Simmons, tapped it back in deep, and going after this is Kelly. And closes him off, rocking in as Simmons in the two-a-side battle. A little bit of a flip there by Bartkowski. More battle from Simmons and Bartkowski, and then McGinn. Krejci working there, and Simmons turns. protects the puck, tripods it along. Close quarters trying for McGinn again. And it's squibbed behind and can be played on now by Miller to Soderberg, and back out and in stride is Louis Eriksson. He's alone right now. Bruins are changing the period of the long change. Eriksson pivoting. Chased off there, got it to the back for a shot that snapped up and held by Mason. Bergeron's goal comes from Riley Smith as well as Bartkowski at 11:05, and it breaks the tie at 3-2.
I think Mason will make a mulligan on that. Doc, we talk about the improvements of the Bruins. Here's an example of their improvement on the power play. Jaromir Jagr, see those 6 goals? Those all happening with Dallas. Look at this year, this season. Chara with 10, Bergeron 7, Krug 6, Riley Smith 5. They had nothing like that last year. Marchand was their leader with Seguin with 4 each. That's one of the reasons why the power play is so much better. Guys are finishing.
Haye fed one in front that was tapped by a man from both teams before thrown by Boychuk and taken along again. Little feed by Thornton, that careened on to be outletted as far as center and rifled right back in again by Boychuk, who was forearm shivered by Ronaldo. All of this just a part of the afternoon's festivities. 7 1/4 to go here in the second. Shots are 2019 Bruins. They lead by 1 in goals, 3-2. Here's Boychuk drifting behind, got it on, but through Mazzaros, who allowed it to go. Hall could not come up with the centering pass from LeCavalier. On it is sent by Thornton. All of this is on an ongoing onside play. So fed back for Thornton, but all the way back down the ice.
Doc, I just got a text message from one of Patrice Bergeron's old teammates, Mark Recchi, who's working for the Dallas Stars. He says this guy's earned it every single day he's been in the league. Can't say enough good things about him.
Pretty good authority, isn't it? Played right back out again by Iginla, rolled back in, but he protected and guided it back.
Stanley Cup in Pittsburgh, Stanley Cup in Carolina, Stanley Cup in Boston, and should be in the Hall of Fame.
Krejci turns back with this, hands it on across, played back in by Boychuk, who was run into by Couturier. Tonight, the push for the playoffs continues as the defending Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks are in Pittsburgh to battle the Penguins. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on NBCSN, and I have it here on good authority. The Pittsburgh Pirates will be in attendance tonight. They have a game tomorrow that will start their season at home against the Cubs. So it's Chicago-Pittsburgh twice in the span of less than 24 hours. That might be a suite, as a matter of fact. And it might be one tomorrow for the Penguins to watch, as those city teams like one another.
As they should. I mean, the growth of both those franchises in that community, everybody knows about the greatness of the Steelers, but man, oh man, the Pirates and the Penguins, they do so much in that community. Doc, I had a great time watching the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates with you last year during the playoffs.
During the hockey playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And the Pirates actually got to the playoffs last year, so we had to clarify. This is held on for a shot that went wide. Right out in front! Oh, and what a save is made there by Mason. My goodness. Right off the boards, a good chance by Bergeron to make this 4-2.
And this is the best line on the ice right now. Riley Smith, Marchand, and Bergeron. They don't quit on plays. Puck moving D to D. Good job, Chara, Hamilton, get it in deep. That shot wide on purpose, and then Bergeron reads off and reacts. And look who's right next to him, Sean Couturier. Usually Couturier plays up against David Krejci, but they've identified how good this line has been. So Couturier getting a lot of action against Bergeron, Riley Smith, and Marchand. Little adjustment on the fly by Craig Berube.
Riley Smith on Tuesday will be 23. He has been special and even was employed in a shootout, his only try, and he scored on it to win a game. Scoring chances in this period 7-4 in favor of the Bruins, and walking in is Hamilton, and a headhunter got the glass. Fed to the front, comes all the way to the back. Bergeron rifled one that ricocheted off a flyer leg and is played back out by the owner of that, Grossman.
That puck went to the glass because of a good read by Claude Giroux. If he's not there, we're probably talking 4-2 right now for Boston.
Dealt back in by Hartnell, taken by Voracek. Voracek protects pretty well. Watched by a couple of Bruins. Voracek chased off, jabbed into some traffic there by Bergeron, or check that by Hamilton. Lifted along near Bergeron for Hamilton again. Reaching in Bergeron, he's got it. Bounced one that skittered on through and is walked on by Marchand. Marchand, crossover, backhander, sticked away by Mason. Full-strength action, 5 1/4 to go in the second period of a 3-2 Bruins lead. Along with it, Hartnell dips the shoulder, backhands one, and that one was shunted away by Rask, driven around behind, and then forced back up by Simmons. Lucic at center, it's knifed right back in again, and Chara can take over there. Chara played 7 minutes of the first 20, so much for putting him in the lineup and resting him. And then it's Iginla up with it. Iginla shoves it back off, taken on by Krejci. Then Iginla couldn't pull the trigger on the shot as Luke Schenn and McGinn were nearby. Brought on by Simmons, gets a little more space. Hooked one across, settled down by McGinn, and he fought at it, trying to get a shot away all the way to the corner, and it's outletted to Lucic. He brings it on. The big left winger floats it back in and goes burrowing in after it. Shoulders there with Luke Schenn, though it's feathered to him nicely by McDonald. Luke Schenn's pass goes too far and down for an icing.
Doc, you were talking about resting Zdeno Chara. I'm not sure that would be a good idea today. Smart jumps in off a line change. Here he is blasting away on Mason, jumping in the rush. What a skillful play right there. Mason shuts the door with the left pad, and then a little bit more skill from the big man, Zdeno Chara. He was a raw product when Mike Milbury and the New York Islanders drafted him out of Prince George in the Western Hockey League, but what a finished product he's become.
His team will not play after today until Wednesday in Detroit. We will have that one for you as part of Wednesday Night Rivalry. We're going to get a call here and the face-off going back. That's all it is. No too many men penalty. So we have a 3-2 game. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet, plus have access to live chats with experts from Pro Hockey Talk. The NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/live extra. We stand corrected. Kenneth Mars was the police lieutenant in Young Frankenstein, and I should have known that because he did have an arm injury sustained when he was in hockey playing in a preseason game between the Flyers and Capitals. Meanwhile, this is knifed on and thrown back in again by Hall. Good collision there between Boychuk and Ronaldo, and it's pushed on goal and a good save by Rask. Dealt back further now. Luke Schenn tried to finesse it on, couldn't get there, but it is LeCavalier with a shot that's blocked down. And then another try, blocked on over for Ronaldo, and he missed the long side with the shot. McDonald tried to drub it back off Eriksson, taken on by Hall. Center to the front and chipped right off of Rask as there was LeCavalier. Rolled along, and in traffic it squibbed further. Bruins can accelerate back out. Carried on by Eriksson, gets it back again with Boychuk breaking. He got it on net, and a save made by Mason. What a remarkable reach by Johnny Boychuk.
And a good job by Zach Rinaldo to come back and help out to clean up the loose change in front of Mason.
Eriksson a shot, and that blocked aside by Luke Schenn. Grabbed on by Paille, rubbed out by Roppel, and Roppel and Paille battle again. This must be played by Chara at center. Hamilton floated it ahead. Paille able to play back in. This one turned back over, and charging ahead is Matt Reed. Takes a couple of slugs from behind from Thornton, and that directed up into the mesh.
This is a part of the Bruins game that's really evolved. Jumping the defense into the rush. Louis Eriksson, little saucer pass to Johnny Boychuk. Watch a loose change in front, and there's Zach Rinaldo just to get the puck away from Chris Kelly, and a really nice job by Zach Rinaldo. He never quits on the play. He goes to his area, his head's on a swivel. He clears that away from Chris Kelly, who's looking at a yawning, wide open net.
Paul Holmgren looking down on this, looking at a lineup that he has done a lot of work on. We mentioned earlier just the controversial departure of Jeff Carter and Mike Richards, but what they have gotten, and time proves that out. Not to mention Hartnell and Timonen, whom we've talked about today, coming in other deals that he made as we get an offside call.
And Doc, you couldn't be more right in terms of the lineup, and we're talking about college hockey. Paul Holmgren and his scouting staff drafted a player out of Union College. His name is Shane Gostisbehere. He's one of the most dominant defensemen in college hockey today. I've watched him a lot, watched him represent the United States at the World Junior. You're talking about a guy that can carry the mail. He's got explosive speed. He's got a chance to come in and provide the same kind of impetus for the Flyers that Torrey Krug did last year for the Bruins. He's that good a player.
Around with this now, it is spiked away, and then hustling after it as Miller, gliding back in and poking it along further, was Couturier, swept to the front, but then taken on by Riley Smith. Smith steps ahead, tried for Marchand, denied though by the reach of Coburn, who gets all the important assignments, and we get an offside call with 2:10 to go here in the second. 3-2 Bruins, 23 shots, 22 in favor of the Flyers.
You just love the grit in this game and the intensity factor of this game. Both teams going after one another, and matchups have been so important the entire afternoon.
38 minutes played, 14-20 by Zdeno Chara leads all the Bruins in ice time again, as this is swept aside out of the glove of Mason, and along gallops Coburn. Coburn fed one on, pulled by Giroux, fed across for Voracek, flexed along further, and Voracek wanted to play it through, could not. Guided back out again by Marchand, held and blasted back in by Timonen. Chopped around behind on the ricochet, taken on by Boychuk, and Boychuk with a pass that's tipped by Giroux, settled down by the Flyers at center. Less than 100 to go in this period. Voracek holds, fed one on a cross, set up for Streit, and a save made by Rask. Right up the gut. Streit has a great shot, but Rask played it well.
Andre Meszaros got nicked up. Jake Voracek got him, so Meszaros isn't 100% going back. Voracek really aware, and then a nice play by Mark Streit to let him know that he was coming. And you see Meszaros eventually gets a stick right in the face, so he really wasn't 100% on that last sequence. But what a save by Tuukka Rask. Doctor, in that last TV timeout, Tuukka Rask said, you know, I was awake at the beginning of the game. That first shot that went in, it dipped on me. I said, don't worry, Tuukka, we showed it.
Lucic sent one that went up into the mesh.
The guy's just so affable, Tuukka Rask, and he's just so into the game, and he's so comfortable being the starting goalie for the Boston Bruins. He's not like one of those goalies that just doesn't talk to anybody during the game. He'll talk to anybody at any time. He's just so into being a player.
Well, he was over there at the bench because of the timeout, and that I didn't notice you went out to the goal crease here, so I think he came to you, right?
Yes,
Stanley Cup in 2011 as a part of the Tim Thomas-Tuukka Rask tandem, and discovered that the medal that he got at the Olympics for Finland was over a pound, 18 ounces. The gold medal, 16. Now, why is that? Well, anyway, ask the Russians. Offensive zone face-off for the Bruins here. They lead in the game by 1 with 1:23 to go. Peeling off with it now is Hall. Virtually everybody who received a medal, especially those who got it for the first time, were struck by how heavy they were. Up the wing now, a drive by Couturier is blocked back out again by Rask. Couturier tried to settle it down, and it's grabbed off in advance by Miller. Carried back on and finessed back in by Lucic. Gotten there by Grossman. Grossman shunted one off. Lucic that pops up in the air and out of play, so there'll be no penalty there. And Grossman and Lucic are in the corner together, but seem to be okay.
When we were at Madison Square Garden the other night doing the Flyers and the Rangers, Nicholas Grossman was walking up the ramp. He was actually in a walking boot, Doc, not wearing normal shoes. So, again, everybody's playing hurt at this time of the year. A lot of people are. He's one of them right now for the Flyers.
Wearing a famous number. All of the numbers in Philadelphia that are under 20 are famous. Some have been retired, but that was Dave Schultz's number 8. And along this one, skips to be taken on by LeCavalier, and a shot that is grabbed by Tuukka Rask, and he just waits.
And the line juggling has started. That was Ty McGinn that started the game with Simmons and Schenn. Now it's LeCavalier back to where he was a couple games ago on the left wing. He's already scored a goal in this game. That was playing center. And here you see Vinny LeCavalier. He's pain-free this year, unlike last year where he had big problems with his feet. And you see him now playing with Schenn and with Simmons.
Wide of the net, that one goes. Chara in to outreach, and along it's Luke Schenn, but that blocked by Bergeron and hustled back down the ice. And an icing will be called with 39 seconds to go here in period number 2. First in points, the Bruins. First in defensive average, the Bruins. No 60-minute road losses since January 9th, a 4-2 loss in Los Angeles. Not many flaws and a depth. And no one wants to jinx anybody if you believe in that stuff. Streit with a shot that went wide, and a hurried shot is grabbed by Rask. What a hasty try there that came from Giroux, and Rask got it.
Andrew McDonald settles this puck down. His former Islander teammate Mike Straight takes advantage. Watch McDonald settle the puck down, give it to Straight. They play together 4 years on Long Island, and then Tuukka Rask, acrobatic. Wow, great chance for Giroux. He's a little off balance, but Tuukka Rask pushing off with his left foot to get over to his right.
It's just remarkable that Giroux made anything out of that.
It really is.
But these are pros that people pay to see, and for good reason. They're really skilled at what they do. And we're seeing two of the best teams in the NHL. They could very well meet, but if they do in the playoffs, it won't be till the third round because of the divisional setup this year, unless the Flyers were to fall farther down.
And right now, if the playoffs started, Flyers, Rangers, Doc, you don't think there would be some shenanigans in that series?
That would be in the stands both places, but on the ice too?
I would say yes.
Okay. Don't want to praise that sort of behavior, but there would be at least a lot of jersey wearing. How's that?
Okay, good.
Comes along now for the turn back up the boards by McDonald. He's able to escape as far as center, and then it's blocked, but he followed through nicely along now to Giroux, and Giroux a backhand for McDonald, who is breaking and is carried off then by Hamilton. To the back it comes now for a play along by Voracek that skipped on through, just getting back to his feet and whacking there was McDonald, and it is cleared out of play, and that's going to take care of the period anyway. There are no penalties at 20 minutes. Coming up in the Discover Card Intermission Report, Liam, Mike, and Jeremy on the Bruins' leadership and a Tave Crosby preview for tonight's game in Pittsburgh. 50 shots have been fired. 5 have gone in. 3-2 Bruins. 2 periods have been played. Xfinity Live hosting Flyers fans and apparently Phillies fans too. They open tomorrow in Texas. Boston leading this one 3-2. Time for fast recovery. Presented by Advil Beer.
Well, Patrice Bergeron in the slot. That's friendly fire from Dougie Hamilton. Goes off the ice, gets some repairs, comes right back to net sequence, puts one on Steve Mason, fights off Kimmo Timonen, a little stop, little pop, little throw at the goal, and into the back of the net. That's pretty quick relief for Patrice Bergeron.
Advil, as fast as it is strong. Let's look at the upcoming games, and they are all of gravity, including tonight, Chicago and Pittsburgh on NBCSN. Coverage begins with NHL Live at 7. Boston at Detroit Wednesday night. Rivalry on Wednesday at 7. Phoenix, Los Angeles Wednesday, 10:30. So a doubleheader on Wednesday. This is thrown ahead now and chipped on by Marchand. Thrown on back now for Dougie Hamilton. So NBCSN will have the game tonight. We'll have a couple of games on Wednesday. And all the games mean something now, it seems. And those do. Carried ahead now and rifled on for a breakaway by Hartnell. Save made! And the net is dislodged. And there will be no resulting penalty as Hartnell is down.
What transition by the Philadelphia Flyers, and Zdeno Chara. I don't know if he loses his balance or loses an edge, Doc. Nonetheless, it allows Hartnell in all alone. You'll see Voracek with a spinning backhand, quick up, and Chara just a little off balance. In alone goes Hartnell, and Tuukka Rask makes a save. Dougie Hamilton does not put Hartnell down. Hartnell just loses an edge there. What an opportunity for the Flyers, and Tuukka Rask just fights it off. And here it is, the spinning backhand pass up and over the stick, and jumping in is Mark Streit, who puts an Hartnell all alone.
Turned along now by Mazzaros and grabbed off by Boychuk. Boychuk banked it ahead. It's knifed down to the high stick of Simmons, and for that reason, the Bruins take it on and have a free pass to drop it in. Now Timonen. The Flyers had touched, there would have been a whistle stopping play. Taken on by Timonen, filtered back up the boards, and it is chopped at by Boychuk, but now stepped away by Braden Shannon at 3-on-2. He's got Coburn driving to the net, and the shot is trapped and held by Rask.
Doc, I know they say a shot on goal is never a bad thing. This is too easy. This is too easy for Tuukka Rask. You love the way Philadelphia comes out of their own zone. Look to the left of your screen. That's Braden Coburn. That's got to create a rebound opportunity. It can't be up high like that. It's way too easy for Tuukka Rask. It hits him right in the spoked wheel of Tuukka Rask and the Boston Bruins. And Schenn knows that. That's got to be a rebound opportunity there for Simmons or Coburn.
Kept to the back and rattled on around by McDonald. Nice speed through by Miller, taken on by Lucic, connects on with Krejci. Krejci pushed it on through. Luke Schenn hunts him down nicely over the line to be played then by Mason, but it kicked right back for Krejci on the work of Lucic, who gives it back to Lucic, and then Lucic lost, and it's up for grabs and eventually to center. Bartkowski rattles it right back in again and stopped by Mason. So the probing here in the early part of the third period, Flyers trailing by 1. But as mentioned earlier, they have come from behind in the third periods of games this year to win 11 times. Played to the outside by Couturier, shoved off there by Bartkowski. Squibbed on through, and then Raffl was hit there by Bartkowski so that Campbell can bring it along. Forever remembered for a game against the Pittsburgh Penguins last year. Campbell sees this one, sent on back and then played ahead by Miller. Grabbed off, and a big collision at center ice. Raffl comes to the bench and back on now, protected nicely by Paille and swung back in. Thornton goes around to get that. The Merlot line is out there for the Boston Bruins right now. This punch back along behind, and it is kicked loose. It's not their habits, it's the color of jersey they wear at practice is the reason for the name. Hooked across now for Boychuk, and Boychuk rattled it back in. It swirled around the glass. Paille took it there and twisted one that is cut and thrown back out again by Hall. Must be chased down. A little fatigue from this is Boychuk. Stymied there by LeCavalier. Boychuk able to pull away, giving it on to Thornton. Plops it ahead now for the carry on by Bergeron. Has a man breaking Marchand. Bergeron played on for Marchand, but he could not handle the checking of the official. Brought back ahead by Voracek, handed back on now for the control of LeCavalier and dealt back in. 4 scoring chances for Vinny LeCavalier as this is turned over for Voracek. Voracek able to sweep to the outside. There'll be a penalty coming up against Boston. Timonen walks it ahead, gave it back for the return to him. Timonen able to step around behind, fed one in front. Stick lifted and it kicked in on Rask, and we get a stoppage of play and the hooking call.
Dougie Hamilton's going to get it for hooking. And Tim Peel, the official's right there watching. Philadelphia is trying to push back. Great forecheck by Jake Voracek and also Zach Rinaldo. And you see the stick of Dougie Hamilton. It gets caught on the left hip of Jake Voracek. But Tim Peel's right there, so he makes the call.
Our play is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company. And to get it started will be Claude Giroux, but he'll be up against David Krejci. 2 strong face-off men. Let's see who prevails. The sound man right now. And then the tie-up. Fed to the back. Timonen rifled it along. It went away from the reach of Simmons. Poked back by Kelly. Settled down by Boychuk. Nudged on to Chara. Pitchforks one that goes out of play. And a penalty.
Oh, yeah. The fans know that rule well. And Doc, I really believe he's not doing this on purpose. But anyways, it's in the rule book. He's on his backhand. He's trying to flip it into the neutral, and you see him right away. He knows.
So a 5 against 3.
And your best presence on a 5-on-3 penalty kill is Zdeno Chara.
Hanging on to this is Rask. And it's a long 5-on-3 by the standards of minor penalties. 1:45. The Bruins will be too short.
The face-off matters. Look where Kevin Miller is, right behind Bergeron. If Bergeron wins it clean, that puck's out. Don't lose it clean. He wins it clean, and it's out. That's just fantastic hockey by Bergeron, Miller, and Doug Huda, who runs a penalty killing for the Bruins. Set play. Beautiful stuff.
The players are not the only ones who anticipate well here. Timonen gives it back up the wing, and it is delayed and held there. Walked onto the back and given to Timonen. Timonen drops it on. Giroux with it there, hands it back to him. Timonen able to work it on to Simmons, back to Timonen again. Simmons ever dangerous at the front, not there just yet. A shot by Timonen knocked into the glove of Tuukka Rask with 1:14 to go on the 2 men short.
Now just Patrice Bergeron, you can't lose that draw clean if you're Vinny LeCavalier. It's a set play because Kevin Miller's a right-hand shot and he's going to go right up the boards. You got to scramble that draw or put it to the boards in a 5-on-3. That's just great hockey from the Bruins.
To the back to Timonen again. Side of the net, Simmons. Peels off, hands to Timonen once more. It is Giroux stepping on. Sent one aside, and it's blocked off by Boychuk and cleared back down. Mason nudges it ahead. Little under a minute to go on the two-man advantage for the Flyers. Hartnell lifted it on a cross, and it can be started back to him again. Hartnell drifts, hands on to Giroux. Simmons swirling near the front. Hartnell standing in front. A shot is dubbed, and it kicked back across and can be played on by the turning Giroux. Giroux moves back on again and hands it across. Timonen there. Dealt it back in deep for a feed. It kicked right across for the clear back down by Kelly. Mason blocked it on out. Less than half a minute to go on the first part of the 5-on-3. 13 seconds difference to the 5-on-4. Dropped on back for Timonen. Good challenge there, and it's whipped back out again by Bergeron, who is omnipresent. Curling with this is Giroux. Giroux with 15 to go on the two-man advantage. Played it back in, and Miller went to get it there. Closed off by Lecavalier. Lecavalier lost to Bergeron, who swept it back off a glass support. It kicked on for Timonen. Timonen let it on back. It's Giroux with it there. Swings one. Off for Simmons. First man is back. Simmons turning with it now. Through one that's knocked down by Miller. Played back along again, and curling with it is Giroux. Let it along to Simmons. 3 seconds left on the second penalty. It comes back over and can be cleared back out away from Chara out of the box. And the fans salute the power play in their own way. This is Mason with it now. Played it back across with 14:20 to go in the third period, and the Bruins have killed off a large opportunity for the Flyers. A two-men short for 1:45.
It all started with one face-off.
Well, that cost them a lot of time, didn't it, on the clear by Miller. Face-off win from Bergeron. A chance in front. It is shot just wide off a stick. Can be played along by Iginla, fighting it on free. So the all-knowing forecasters, trying to include myself here, who thought there would be more major penalties in this game, have been wrong so far. Only that pair at the end of the first. It settled into quite an aggressive game and a one-goal game Boston's way. Coming up next, don't miss final round action live from San Antonio, the Valero Texas Open. Next, here on NBC. Flyers with only one shot on that 5-on-3 opportunity. And so full strength action here with 13:51 left in the third. And there's Doug Huda.
One of the architects of that great penalty kill, Dot. Detroit Red Wings, Los Angeles Kings, Hartford Whalers. Earned his way into the NHL by doing a great job coaching with Buffalo in the American Hockey League.
Miller in a collision there with Reed. Fed on now for the turn by Krejci. Krejci delays again, twists to the outside. Led to the back, and Miller's shot is carefully blocked aside by Mason and sped back down the ice, and it almost sprung Reed. But almost the operative word as it's held by Tuukka Rask.
Just love the pushback from Philadelphia here to start. Obviously the power play wasn't friendly to them, but they're pushing and they're trying to probe, and as soon as puck possession is established, you'll see Reed just fly the zone. He's already got 20 goals this year. The young man out of Bemidji State, it just bounces over his stick, but what an opportunity. He ends up as a Philadelphia Flyer, Doc, because Paul Holmgren recruits him and brings him here for a playoff game, and the kid says, what an environment, I'd love to play here, and it worked out for him.
Some of the greatest decisions are made when you are a fan, right? Into what? Pivoting with this now is Louis Eriksson, able to finesse it on. Played on back to Eriksson again, jostled a bit. Close quarters, Kelly couldn't get that one on through as Luke Schenn said no. Carried up by Simmons, forced to the corner, and on the bounce for McGinn. McGinn is run into there by Dougie Hamilton, pushed along behind, and Chara can connect on to Soderberg and outletted for a little tip back by Kelly, and then on for Hamilton to play to the corner. Dragged along neatly by McDonald, connects back up to McGinn, moving back up with Simmons, carried on now for a big drive by Luke Schenn that's fought off by Rask. What a scorching shot from Luke Schenn. Fed around behind now for Mazzaros. 7.5 played here in the third period. Flyers down in the game 3-2. If they are to win this one, they would need to get a couple, and that would enable them to pass the New York Rangers for second in the Metropolitan Division. The Rangers play later on tonight in Edmonton. Dragged around there by Streit. Can be played by Thornton, nudged around behind, and pushed to the front by Paille. And a 3-on-2 for the Flyers. Voracek giving on to Giroux. Has Hartnell breaking, got it to him, and that one blocked down by Boychuk. Voracek rocks along with Paille. The puck escapes behind, and Mazzaros has it. rifled back up the boards. Paille jostled a bit there by Braden Coburn. If you are the visitor, I guess you expect, if you're leading in the third, there's going to be a shove back from the Flyers, and they're certainly doing that. A long toss by Mason went off of Paille, forced on by Voracek, but controlled by Hamilton.
And the Flyers are aware of what the playoff situation is too right now, so they're putting on some urgency.
Right back comes Marchand, slams on the brakes, and played it back in. And then a feed in front on, canceled out was Smith. Hooked right back again for the turn by Bergeron. Tried to force one in front that's kicked aside by Grossman. Right back on come the Flyers again. Ronaldo, shoulders there with Hamilton. Marchand left it behind. Nudged out in front by Hall and forced wide by Smith off a Flyer. Can be dragged along now by LeCavalier. To the back, Grossman had trouble with it, but recovered. Put it off the glove, and we're going to get a stoppage of play. All of this called back on an offside. Inside the glass, here's Pierre.
Well, it's been a love fest for Patrice Bergeron, but let's talk about his line mates as well. That second line for the Boston Bruins with Brad Marchand doing a real good job dominating with the puck. You just see how Riley Smith, Bergeron, and Marchand just interact so well. You stop, pop, you throw it at the net, but it's just been a team effort from the entire Bruins group, but especially that line. They've been dominant on the cycle and the forecheck.
Off this, it is Couturier. Couturier feeds and Reed, a shot. Save made by Rask. Rebound whipped at by Lucien. Still battling with Lucic, who prevails and turns and hands on to Krejci, who pulls it away and leads up the wing. And here comes Lucic, able to get by Lucien. Moving on. Fed one in front, and that one went wide as Iginla was driving to the net and was defended off. To the back it comes now. Bartkowski had it poked away, and here's Raffl. Dropping back is Miller on defense. Reaching it is Reed. Reed holds to the outside with a man at the front of the net. Reed still waiting now. Delayed and played it around behind. Couturier there, jostled by Miller, and Miller got possession. A scary play for the Bruins as we reach the halfway point of the third. Lobbed back down. It will come on goal, and so it must be played by Mason. No icing. Timonen connects back onto Coburn. Coburn feathered it on through to center. Boychuk couldn't come up with it. It's up for grabs, but Soderberg turned it on to Boychuk, and Boychuk just lays it right back across. Carry on by Louis Eriksson. Able to work the outside. I beg your pardon, Mazzaros on that shot. 41, not 21 from this distance. It is held by Mason. 3-2 Boston. Here's how it works within the division. Guaranteed top 3 spots. Stay in the division and play. You can't have wild cards. If it's today, Pittsburgh would play Columbus right across from them there in the number 1 wild card spot, while Boston would face Detroit, the number 2. But right behind Detroit, Washington and Toronto. Washington with the same number of games left, and one of those today in Nashville. Detroit home for a 5 o'clock Eastern start against Tampa Bay.
How about Steven Stamkos coming back to Tampa and how that's just rejuvenated the entire group there. They're playing very well. Kept behind last night in Buffalo to win in overtime.
Sure helps your power play to have somebody like that, doesn't it?
And the energy of Ryan Callahan doesn't hurt, and they've got some really good young players there in Tampa, too. They've done a really nice job.
Laid across now for Streit, who walks it ahead for the orange-shirted Philadelphia Flyers and played it back in, and Chara got that one. A little tricky to handle, though. Paille tried to yank it on through, no luck. Away from Hartnell, sent across by Chara, and will be settled down and played on by Streit. Voracek could not get to that one as it was taken first by Hamilton and fed on by Thornton as far as center. And then cleared off Thornton by Grossman. Thornton trying to work his way ahead. Knifed on now for Hartnell to feed across now to Voracek with a man-breaking Giroux at the outside. Battled every inch of the way by Campbell. And it's pushed on out to center, and ahead comes Paille. Paille holds and shoots. Oh, and a great save made by Mason on Paille.
As Eddie likes to say, remember that save if Philadelphia comes back. What a save by Steve Mason.
It is Coburn jamming one along. Fed on across now for the carry back up by Reed. Walked on by Timonen and flopped in on the bounce and gotten by the netminder Rask.
Danny Paille, the former first rounder of the Buffalo Sabres, comes in. He's been so valuable for the Boston Bruins, working one-on-one on Kimmo Timonen and Mason square. Slow motion doesn't do that save justice at all. That thing's launched. It's got a lot of velocity and accuracy, and Mason gobbles it up.
Bruins get a rest now. And the Flyers have Vinny Lecavalier in on this faceoff. He leads all players with 8 shots on goal today, Lecavalier. A shot by Coburn is trapped and held by Rask. We should mention Nathan Pache, Dennis Beauregard, Pierre Jarry, Kevin Maxwell, Corey Millen, Ty Conklin, Dave Ellett, Randy Hillier, and Mark-Edward Vlasic, whom you mentioned earlier, all celebrating birthdays today. And Vlasic a plus 31 in the plus minus, as well as Celine Dion.
Wow.
A hockey birthday because of that wonderful evening when she sang to Rocket Richard.
So Doc, back in the 92 All-Star game here in Philly at the Spectrum, she sang the national anthem. I had the privilege of coaching in that game with Scotty Bowman and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Celine Dion sang the anthem. So it's Philadelphia friendly.
I'm sure it was terrific.
It was outstanding. She was just starting to get to what has been an amazing career.
Well, the pushback of the Flyers has been something here. They have 36 shots to 27 for the Bruins. The Bruins with only 4 shots this period, and the Flyers with 9. Poked along by Bartkowski, fed back ahead for Riley Smith. Smith able to bring it back on, and it's hurried on by Bergeron, a little too far for Marchand. And then Marchand able to turn with it. Marchand fed, Riley Smith protected, got it back to Miller. A hurried shot, fed across by Smith, corralled by Simmons, and handed on now to Braden Shen. Poked it on through, and so retreating to play is Miller.
The Cavalier back with Shen and also with Simmons. No longer time again.
Played on by Bartkowski, looking for a little more offensive punch there, Pierre.
Yes, sir.
That one is settled down by McDonald, and McDonald goes circle to circle across. Luke Shen hands it back to him, and McDonald tried to play one ahead, but it's cut off by David Krejci. Krejci tries to work in, away from McDonald, around behind, fed one in front. Oh, and a save made by Mason on a strong shot from Jarome Iginla.
David Krejci just so aware. Andrew MacDonald's usually very responsible with the puck, but he turns it over because Krejci's forechecking inside out with his stick on this. There's a display of strength from David Krejci, pushing Andrew MacDonald off and putting it right into the wheelhouse for Jarome Iginla. And another nice save by Steve Mason, making sure there's no second chance opportunity for Milan Lucic.
Krejci to take this draw off the tie-up in close quarters, nudged along Couturier, defended his man away so that Streit could walk by and get it and move it ahead. Here's Streit holding, finessed one in front, pad stop, Rask to the back, Grossman, and that one is deflected wide. Rask actually had a reach at it with his glove, but it went flying wide because it had been tipped by a stick, and now it's Lucic pulling and slinging one back to center. Walked right back in again by Raffl. Raffl nearly run to the ditch by Lucic. Meanwhile, a save made by Rask. So the shot's now up to 37 for the Flyers. Grossman a shot, save. Rask, another shot, and he closed off Couturier. He's okay, isn't he? Lobbed up high by Iginla and out to center.
He's just so comfortable and so confident.
Laid across Couturier. Stymied a bit there, continues, and Kelly defends him. Led back near Reed. Tripped up on the play. It's handed on back to Timonen. Shoots one. Save. Rask. Rebound. Turn to the boards. Swept back on now for Iginla, and it's squibbed on back to center. Controlled by Coburn. 6:10 left in the third. Walked in by Raffl. Raffl pulls. Had it knifed away by Chara. Nudged along and out to center.
They're playing for keeps, both these teams. This is fun to watch.
And they will do it again in Boston Saturday. Voracek brings it ahead. Voracek escapes, denied by Chara, swept across the net mouth away from Hamilton. Giroux connects on to Hartnell. The big winger drops it back on. Claude Giroux tried to tap it through. Hamilton said no with help from Chara. Now it's Voracek trying to get to the front. Chara says no. From his knees, Voracek to the back. A hurried shot is knifed down by Kelly. The sticks are all over the place for the Bruins, and one is broken. Controlled now by Voracek at center with under 5.5 to go.
Chara and Hamilton couldn't get off. Chara's coming out now. So is Hamilton. They could not get off.
Touched on back for Mazzaros. Across to Boychuk. Connects on for the lob back in by Marchand. Right on the money for Simmons. Pulls up, looks ahead. Karam pass. Lecavalier and Boychuk collided at the line. Lecavalier able to get it back onto Simmons, who gains the zone. Has 2 Bruins right near him and a third. He wiped out. Meanwhile, it's played on by Boychuk and around behind for Mazzaros. And Simmons with a big hit on Boychuk. And a stray stick blade is out there, and Rask is able to block A very strong shot and cover. 4:44 left in the third. A 1-goal lead for the Bruins. Back here in Philadelphia tonight, America's captivated by the new series Crisis. How far would you go to save the ones you love? All new Crisis tonight at 10, 9 Central here on NBC.
Doc, I know you and I watch a lot of hockey. Can I vote for a great TV show?
Go ahead.
Blacklist. Red Reddington, what a character. Awesome TV show.
Okay. Mazaros and Voracek and Bergeron are among the three faces that you see wearing proud jerseys on good teams, arguably great teams, with 70 shots taken tonight, 42 by the Flyers, 28 by the Bruins, but the Bruins lead on the goal by Bergeron at 11:05 way back in the second period. Here comes Giroux. Lays it off the boards, perfect for Voracek. Voracek, a shot, blocked away by Rask. Chopped back along again, off of Boychuk. Boychuk back up the boards, it's squibbed away from Hartnell and guided on out to center again by Riley Smith. Off of Voracek and then Hartnell. Boychuk after that one protected pretty well. Given on around now for Voracek to play through, and reversing his field, Boychuk comes up with it easily and can bank one ahead and out to center. 4 minutes to go in the third. The Bruins with 8 consecutive road wins. 90th year of the franchise. Never in that 90 years have they won 9 in a row on the road. Taken again by Bartkowski, nicely through, and here's Krejci moving in, dropped it back over, Lucic across, a hurried shot, was a loose one from Iginla, and can be brought back up by the Flyers and Couturier. On a cross again from Matt Reed, given a good crunch there by Lucic, around behind Rask, handcuffed Miller a bit, reaching in Couturier, fed one that came out in front, unable to pull the trigger as Reed. Another try by Luke Schenn, forced wide. Guided onto the back and can be retrieved by McDonald, but given up to Miller. A Flyer tumbles near the front of the net. Meanwhile, this is guided back down and will go on goal, so no icing. 3:10 to go, third period of play. Hamilton across. Chara with it there. Banked one on. Chopped that. Kicked along further. Followed up now by Soderberg. Soderberg cruising. Shoots. Getting a piece of it was Mason. If his team gets at least a point out of this one, you can credit him on that one as well as others. Close quarters, Soderberg, all on a delayed offside that is wiped. Circle to Hamilton with 2:38 to go. Chopped on by Kelly. Retrieved by Simmons. Backhanded ahead for Streit. Moves back with the Cavalier, and Simmons denied there with a good aggressive reach by Marchand, but just that quickly brushed away. Brayden Schenn popped it in, and it's Boychuk rifling it ahead. Bergeron flopped one, gloved out of the air by Mason, and play is stopped. Oh my. And he was looking for somebody, wasn't he? It is a familiar number, 63.
Carl Soderberg looks so comfortable. He wants a puck, goes right around Luke Schenn, and look at that again, Steve Mason with the right hand. And then you got a little tic-tac-go and just can't get it to go. Bartkowski up the ice. David Krejci distributes the puck over to Milan Lucic, to Jerome Iginla, and what a shot block by Braden Coburn. But Steve Mason standing tall for the Flyers.
A shot by Marchand is directed to the glass. Scoring chances in the third. 9 for the Flyers and 3 for the Bruins. Fed by Streit, played ahead for the carry back up the wing. Walked on by Reed and hammered back in. Rask spears that one and drops it off to Boychuk. Sure hands all the way. Then on to Bergeron. Not too light in that department himself. And for that reason, the Flyers are playing in their own end of the ice. Carried back ahead by Couturier, and then lost and carried back on by Krejci. Krejci fires it right back in with 100 seconds left in the tilt, unless the Flyers can get it sent to overtime or get a couple. Fired right back in again, and around it goes for Mason to set up, and then it is McDonald. Smoked out by Lucic, but he's able to carry ahead. Hands back onto Voracek, who darts ahead. Now headed to the bench is Mason. The net is empty at the other end. This one cleared along. McDonald able to keep it. Bouncer is settled down by Giroux. Led on back now for a shot by Timonen, and that one went wide. Voracek dropped it on. Simmons tried to play it further. To the corner it comes, and the first one there is Giroux. Led it onto the back to Timonen, but he couldn't handle and must drop back again. Lou Nolan will announce the final minute. Carried ahead now and dropped back on by McDonald. Played on by Voracek, given up to Chara. And Chara flopped one along that comes to center. Battled for and Krejci moved it ahead, but it was a hand pass to him. And so play is stopped.
They're going to look at this one. They can't go back on it. They say a hand pass, and Bruins bench is saying, wait a second, the Flyers touched it. Let's see. Up in the air, touched. Okay. Anyways, it goes fast. Timeout coming for Philadelphia. Craig Berube calls it. Tim Peel sees that, and they move along. It's been a well-played game by both these teams.
Yeah, there's been enough aggressiveness to make it an entertaining game from that standpoint, and tremendous skill, but also the fact that every game is a battle of wills, and both teams have shown to be very strong-willed. Coming up next, don't miss final round action live from San Antonio, the Valero Texas Open. If you're waiting for that, we have a couple more divots to show you here before we are done and hand it off to the sport that you have chosen. We hope you'll come back and see hockey. Skilled guys like Wayne Simmons make this quite an appealing sport.
Only one defenseman on the ice for the Flyers team, and everything's about offense now.
Hartnell and Giroux, and LeCavalier and Timonen and Simmons and Voracek are the Flyers. This is connected on, and Bergeron drops it back. The net is empty in front of that pass from Voracek on to Timonen. Moves back up with 35. Voracek with speed, trying to get away from Louis Eriksson. Flopped one along that Chara's able to send along, and it bounced free. They can't get out with it, though. Boychuk missed on it. Puck taken by Voracek, side of the net. They score! Second of the day for him. 401st of his career. Third and tying goal for his team.
Follow the bouncing puck. The Bruins can't corral it. The Flyers can. It's bouncing all over. And you see it bounce away, and then eventually Vinny LeCavalier says, thank you very much. Bouncing puck there. Bouncing puck there. Bouncing puck there. Jake Voracek hard on it. We talked about 5 forwards and 1 defenseman. And the extra guy, Voracek's the one that kept it alive and got it over to Vinny LeCavalier, who ties it up.
At 19:35, arms raised at the Flyers bench. Ginla flips it back. Krejci to get it there, but it's guided behind by Couturier. Then off of Lucic. 11 separating these teams from OT. Miller took the hit. Couturier took the puck, hands it on to Raffl with 5 left, drops it off. Couturier trying to turn by, tumbles down to the ice, no penalty, horn sounds, 60 minutes played, 6 goals scored, 3 apiece. The start of OT after we listen to the crowd and take a break. Overtime presented by Fast Acting Advil. For those of you looking for golf, the Golf Channel has that for you. Until we finish here. Vinny LeCavalier, marvelous. 9 shots, 5 chances, 2 goals. Both goaltenders have been spectacular at key times in a game that never saw a team get much more than a 1-goal lead.
Claude Julien, he's going to come with 3 forwards and 1 defenseman, something that the Bruins have been trying to do in overtime to stockpile extra points. They want to be super aggressive. Philadelphia, 2 forwards, 2 defensemen.
On a technicality, the Flyers now have second, pending the outcome of this one and the Rangers game in Edmonton tonight. And the Bruins just got 1 more point in their lead in all the categories, Atlantic, East, and the league. Carried ahead by Giroux. Giroux threw one and diving down to the ice and getting back to his feet is Boychuk. Skidding into the boards and limping around another Bruin as this one is scaled high and wide by Giroux, who throws his head back and shaken up after going into the boards. Riley Smith. Right back on, they bring it now, and it's Giroux feeding one through that's knifed right back down artistically by Soderberg, and he comes back the other way. Soderberg drags it along, one-handedly able to steer along further. Closed off by Mark Streit, wanted to center, and taken away by Giroux. Right back Soderberg again, and then it's scaled high and along for Grossman. Grossman went off of Kelly, and meanwhile this is touched on out to center. Hamilton able to play one ahead that's spiked down by Kelly, and Kelly walks back and gains the zone to Hamilton. Rolls it around behind Louis Eriksson in front. Oh, and a shot off Mason. What a try from Hamilton. Or I beg your pardon, Kelly. Back the other way it's brought. Carried back on by Streit, and Streit holds. Feeds one that's tipped on across. Gathered in there, fed on over to Schenn. Crosses, can't get the pass away. And so it's taken along by Lucic. Cuts right back ahead, and Lucic can bring it further. Moves back up with Krejci and got it to him. Back on a cross, again, left shot, and it's sailed by Mason.
McGinley didn't want to stop this one. He's a right shot on the left-hand side of the ice. You see him trying to load the gun, but he has to stop it. It gives Mason time. And here's the play we're talking about with Chris Kelly. Great active stick by Nicholas Grossman down low to get in the lane. We've had chances at both ends, and it's been that way pretty much all afternoon, Doc. What a game by both these teams.
It is what you hope for when you pay your price of admission as a Flyers fan here or turn on your television, whether you care about either team or not. It has been sparkling, and this is dropped on in traffic now. Both teams need the points, but of course it's more desperate for the Flyers, and they've done it. Here's Krejci drifting along with it now. Krejci onto the back, Chara with it there, fires it back around, Iginla takes it. Iginla watched by McDonald. Curls to the outside and hands over to Chara, just a little bunt toward the corner. Lucic there, lost to Couturier, and he darts right out in front. Caused a little bit of a hard stop to Mason, but it is flopped right back in again, and on the bounce, scooped up and held by Rask.
A lot of emotion on both benches. You can see the championship spirit of the Boston Bruins. They're in this thing to win it, and on the other side, they've got a surge of energy because of that late goal from Vinny Lecavalier with the goalie pulled. Dynamic energy here in this building.
Bruins 109 points. This is taken by Hartnell right out in front, and a save made by Rask. Oh, it looked like a sure thing that the Bruins would take over, and it came right to Hartnell and right to the front of the net.
Bergeron wins the draw clean. Little miscommunication. Remember, the Bruins are playing 3 forwards and 1 defenseman. Marchand's playing the role of defenseman there. Makes a misread.
Big drive and a save made by Rask again, and they battle for it, and Hartnell goes to the corner with Mazzaros. 47 shots by the Flyers. Ahead now is Streit, plopping it to the corner. 3-3, the score of the game. We're in overtime, and we're sure glad you've joined us from Philadelphia. 2 of the strong teams of the NHL, including the one that is at the very top. Bruins with 109 points, given the one that they have already secured. 2 more than St. Louis. What does that get you if you finish on top? Home ice advantage in every round of the playoffs you go through. Not bad.
Heroes all around on both sides. Starting and goal, both goalies have been really good. Mason and Rask.
Soderberg turns. Kelly takes. Nudged on back further, Bartkowski. Over halfway through the sudden death overtime period. If still tied, there will be a shootout. Keep in mind, golf has switched over to the Golf Channel for now. Soderberg turns, throws one in front, and that one went wide. Galloping after it and able to recover at center is Louis Eriksson. And Eriksson guides it back across. Bartkowski brings it ahead. Feeds one that is shunted on by Grossman. Soderberg up with it again. Hands on to Eriksson, who gains the zone and button hooks. Lays it on across now for Kelly, who drifts. Throws one in front to Eriksson. Oh, and a shot tipped wide. Crowd buzzing about that one as we're down to the last 100 of sudden death. Simmons hands on. Laid back too far, cut off and shunted on by Hamilton. Knife from McGinley, walked on by Hamilton. Hamilton trying to step by, closed off there by McDonald. Swatted at by Streit, who got it, but pushed it into Krejci. David Krejci holding along now for the Bruins, swatted there by Streit. And good stick work, frees it up, and he can play it back across, and the Flyers can at least drop it back further and get organized. So now McDonald. A minute to go. It's ahead now to Schenn. save! Rask and a cover! My goodness, what a wonderful opportunity for the Flyers. Shut down by the brilliance of Tuukka Rask in goal.
Both goalies have been great. And the probing by the Philadelphia Flyers, and remember the 3-forward concept for the Bruins with only one defenseman. That opens it up for Luke Schenn. David Krejci's playing the role of defenseman right there, and Zdeno Chara's got to cover a lot of mileage to get back. What a save by Tuukka Rask.
Thrown through Coburn. Rattled around behind. Reaching in is Chara. Stepping there is Smith. Up it comes to Timonen. Fires! And it's blocked away by Rask. Skipped on out to center and grabbed off of the Flyers again with 50 shots on goal. And Rask holds on.
Playoff preview, Doc. This would be fun.
It would be. It would not be first round unless the Bruins held on and the Flyers dropped down farther than they want to conceive right now. Rask a career-high 47 saves in this game as Hartnell comes to the bench on a change. One back to center, and a big awe goes up from the crowd as Coburn retrieves and then dropped it on. Bergeron could not come up with that because of the stick reach of LeCavalier. Dropped on now by the Flyers to Giroux, and Giroux can force it back in the last 22 of the action. Dug out by LeCavalier, played on by Bergeron, and around behind Boychuk. Boychuk just dropped it on further for Mazzaros, hunted down by LeCavalier. Mazzaros staggers behind in the last 10, giving it on to Boychuk. That one skipped off his stick at center, retrieved by Streit. 5 seconds to go, time for a Timonen shot maybe. Straight a drive, grabbed and held by Rask, thrown away, and the horn sounds. How calm he can be with the game writing on that shot. 52 of them for the Flyers, 30 for the Bruins, 3-3 after 65. We'll be right back for the shootout after these important words. The ice resurfacing machines are doing their work up the middle so that all of this can be all cool. And these guys have been, Mason and Rask.
And this has been a phenomenal afternoon of hockey. Zdeno Chara on the power play from Jerome McGinley. Patrice Bergeron working on Kimmo Timonen. Bad goal to give up, but Steve Mason, he'll pay the Flyers back. Follow the bouncing puck. If you're the Philadelphia Flyers, Jake Voracek on it. Vinny LeCavalier, Johnny on the spot, sticks it to the back of the net. And you'll see Johnny Boychuk at the end, number 55 on a bench saying, can't believe I couldn't corral that baby.
So they all wait to see what we'll give here in the shootout. Prior history, and it is only that. Steve Mason has faced only 2 Bruins in prior shootouts. Bergeron was 0 for 1, and McGinley has taken 4 on him and scored on 1. Tuukka Rask in the past has faced only 1 of the Flyers in the lineup today, and that's Claude Giroux, who did score on him. So that's the history, not prophecy, as we get ready for the shootout. In the minds of a lot of people, the phrase shootout is just a part of what the NHL does. But in the minds of others who may not follow hockey as much, immediately in their mind comes TJ Oshie. Isn't it interesting? But the rules here are you can go through the whole team. You can't repeat, as was the Olympic rule. Vinny LeCavalier has scored twice when the clock has been ticking. He goes in on Tuukka Rask to start the shootout. No! Lost off the stick. Seems to be okay.
He's been feeling it all afternoon. Vinny LeCavalier has been moving well. Just the puck bounces up and over his stick.
Patrice Bergeron. 33% in his career. His 65th shot coming up. Yes! Bergeron has made it 1-0 Bruins.
Another example of why you can say in the Hall or in the MVP discussion, composure, grace, silky smooth finish.
Here is Claude Giroux, the one man who has faced Rask before and scored on him. Preparing here. A 43% shooter. Anything over 40 with these goaltenders in this league is terrific. 50 is right out. Ahead now, Giroux. Scores!
This is Oshie Doc. Both of them are right-handed shots. Patrice Bergeron, thanks for coming, puts it right up in the roof.
Here is Marchand. 3 for 9 lifetime. With speed, could not get it through, and the shootout is even. 2 rounds, a goal apiece.
It might be one too many moves. He had him down, he just couldn't get the puck up. Might have been one extra move that got him in trouble for Brad Marchand.
The anchor leg is manned by the 12s. First, Raffl. Save made by Rask. Next, Iginla.
Tuukka Rask just eats this up from Michael Raffl. Stands up, challenges, and just moves a little bit to his right to close it off.
For the game, 1 for 4 lifetime against Mason. Iginla swoops in. Save made by Mason. We will need extra shooters.
I didn't think he was going to go high glove, Doc, because of the way Mason's fought it off with his glove hand all game long, but what a good job by Mason sticking with a blocker.
Matt Reed. Glass. The bottom of each inning winds up being the sudden death one when the first shooter fails.
Here comes some crafty mittens. David Krejci, who's been fantastic. You called him omnipresent today, Doc. He's been that good.
32.4%, 39th career shot. No! Held off by Mason, and we move on.
Talk about hands. You see the Bruins, they're trying to dangle on Mason outside of Iginla. Everything's been moves.
Here is Voracek. Lots of craft here on Rask. Save made by Rask with the scissoring pads.
How about the unpredictability of Tuukka Rask? The big poke check coming out, trying to intimidate Voracek. And then it's just, wow, great athleticism.
In his life, 1 for 1. And that was a winner. This could be for Smith. He scores! 9 straight road wins by the Bruins. The longest in franchise history. Only twice earlier was it done. 92-93 and 71-72. Riley Smith ended it. 110 points atop the entire NHL standings for Boston, 3 ahead of the St. Louis Blues in the Western Conference. Tonight, the NHL push for the playoffs continues over on NBCSN. Jonathan Toews and the Chicago Blackhawks face off against Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's tonight, 7 Eastern on NBCSN. Stay tuned for live final round coverage of the Valero Texas Open next here on NBC. For Pierre Maguire, Doc Emrick saying so long from Philadelphia in a shootout. Bruins 4, Flyers 3.